the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Here.
Mr. Franco.
I'm here.
Mr. Cabrera.
I am here. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, the notice requirements have been satisfied as to the time, place, and date of holding said meeting by posting notice on the bulletin board here in Borough Hall and by mailing and emailing same to the Herald of Cape May County and the Press of Atlantic City on October 13th, 2021. In the event of an emergency, your emergency exit is the way you came in, your back right, or your front left, or our front right. A couple quick announcements. This meeting is being shown live here today on the borough's Facebook page and also the YouTube channel. If you have any questions or you want to listen in on the conversation, you're welcome to dial the conference line. That number is 888-363-4734, and when prompted, you're going to enter the access code 969-902-00, followed by the pound or the hashtag. If you watch the recorded version, you're always welcome to email our clerk of the works at clerk@wildwoodcrest.org or call her directly at 609-729-8040, and she is doing a fundraiser if you decide to call. Okay. Madam Clerk, may we have the ordinances, please?
Yes, sir. The first is ordinance number 1388, and it's a bond ordinance.
Motion that ordinance number 1388 be placed on second reading and final passage by title only.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded that ordinance number 1388 be placed on second and final reading by title only.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Ordinance 1388 reads as follows. A bond ordinance appropriating $4,500,000 and authorizing the issuance of $4,275,000 bonds or notes of the borough for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Borough of Wildwood Crest in the County of Cape May, New Jersey.
Motion that a public hearing now be held on ordinance number 1388.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded that a public hearing on ordinance number 1388 now be held.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes. Floor is open. Public comments. Anybody in the room? Hearing none. Anybody on the conference line have any public comments on ordinance number 1388? Hearing none.
Motion that a public hearing on ordinance number 1388 now be closed.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded that the public hearing on ordinance number 1388 now be closed.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Motion that ordinance number 1389 be passed on first reading, advertised according to law, be brought up for second and final reading and public hearing on December 28, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Mr. Franco, we're still in the
Oh.
bottom portion.
Oop, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I skipped
I
that.
just need you to motion
1388.
that it be passed on
13,
second.
yes.
Yep.
Sorry about that. A second.
So can I
You need a
confirm that?
motion,
Second.
I do need a motion.
I got the second.
And Mr. Franco motions and Mr. Schiff seconds?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Cabrera?
I vote yes.
It has been moved and seconded. You have to read that?
It's been moved and seconded that ordinance number 1388 be passed on
Sorry
second.
about
You guys got me off guard here. Passed on second and final reading and advertised according to the law.
Roll call.
I think it's the holiday cheer that's in them already.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff?
Yes.
Mr. Franco?
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera?
Yes.
And now we're good. Next is 1389, and it reads as follows. An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 56 of the Code of the Borough of Wildwood Crest, entitled Recreation Commission, Section 56-3, approving and confirming rates and fees for the rental of facilities, participation in certain events and activities.
Now I'm good to go, right, Trish? Yep.
Yep.
Motion that ordinance number 1389 be passed on first reading, advertised according to law, be brought up for a second and final reading and public hearing on December 28, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Second that?
It has been moved and seconded that ordinance number 1389 be passed on first reading, advertised according to law, be brought up for second and final reading and public hearing on December 28, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff?
Yes.
Mr. Franco?
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera?
Yes.
Okay, next we have ordinance 1390, and it reads as follows. An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 47 of the Code of the Borough of Wildwood Crest, entitled Parking Meters, Section 47-8, Parking Meter Charge.
Motion that ordinance number 1390 be passed on first reading, advertised according to law, be brought up for second and final reading and public hearing on December 28th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that ordinance number 1390 be passed on first reading, advertised according to law, be brought up for second and final reading and public hearing on December 28, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next, we have the resolutions. The first is authorizing advertisement of notice to bidders for lifeguard renovation building.
Motion.
I'll second it. I just have some quick discussion. I sent a note to the professionals, just had some general questions on that. No need to get back on that. I'm totally fine with moving forward on the project, but if you guys could get together and just rename some of the buildings, I think some of the things that I had questions on were throwing me off. And I just want to make sure that the third floor is going to remain as an attic space and so forth. All right, that's the only comments I have. I'm ready to go.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Did we get a second on that, I guess? You
I haven't
seconded it?
voted
I'm
yet.
seconding.
You're voting, right?
Yes.
Mr. Schiff, Mr. Franco,
Abstain.
and Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing expenditure to DJI drone for police department under Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program.
I'll motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing Borough Engineer work order for Seaview Avenue traffic signal improvements, survey and base mapping services at the not to exceed sum of $4,000.
I have the motion.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing award of professional services contract to Colliers Engineering and Design for Seaview Avenue traffic signal improvements at the not to exceed sum of $40,000.
I'll motion it.
I will second.
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing approval of change order number 6, Pacific Avenue and various streets capital improvement program additional services, Cardinal Avenue from Pacific Avenue to Seaview Avenue.
Motion.
I will second.
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing the cancellation of the balance on emergency appropriation.
Motion that.
I will second.
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing resolution number 22-91 to be rescinded in totality.
Motion.
I will second.
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing certain appropriation transfers.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing release of escrow funds for permit number SO21-0802 in the amount of $821.25.
Motion.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing refund of EMS overpayment made payable to Robert Parisi in the amount of $103.49.
Moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing refund EMS overpayment made payable to Patricia Doherty in the amount of $100.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing refund of property taxes or utilities overpayment for multiple properties made payable to CoreLogic.
Motion.
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing the chief financial officer to void certain checks issued from the borough payroll account.
Motion. Motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Motion that all bills properly authorized as submitted be paid.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that all bills properly authorized as submitted be paid. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks,
Sure.
I do not see anything under correspondence. That brings us to our first round of public comments. Please give your name and address for the record. We'll start with anybody here in the audience today.
My name is Linda DiPatilli. I live at 88 Route 610, Petersburg, New Jersey. And good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to say it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to serve you as the owner of Shore Animal Control for our animal control services. And I just wanted to see if you had any questions or when the bids or the proposals would be discussed.
Linda, you're referencing for 2023? Right, so I believe we have a few that we need to review and analyze. So I haven't,
I emailed them all to you.
yeah, we just received them, I think, this week, and I don't think anyone's had the time to review that yet, but it certainly will be before, I'm assuming by the end of this year for sure. So if there's any questions that are developed, we'll filter that through either our administrator or our clerk, and they'll be back in touch with you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Anybody else on the conference line have any public comments? Anybody here in the audience have any public comments? Hearing none, we're going to move on to new business. First item on the agenda under new business is commission meeting times at night in 2023, possibly moving from 5:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. I believe that this is something that would make sense because we have staff that generally finishes their day at 4:30, and to have them stay a half an hour later as opposed to an hour to get the meeting started, I think would be beneficial. Our meetings are shown live here. They're accessible through the conference line. I don't see any issue, but we certainly wanted to put it on the agenda here for discussion, and I'll ask the governing body to weigh in on if they are in favor or not in favor of this decision for 2023. So the meetings in 2023, instead of being 5:30, would be 5 p.m. And I also would like to point out that the planning board had also meets at 5 p.m.
That's correct.
Anybody?
It's fine with me. Makes sense.
I'm good.
Good?
Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution ready in case you want to go forward with that right now.
Sure.
So the resolution reads, amending resolution number 22-299 regarding the meeting times for commission meetings and restating all meeting times in 2023.
I have one question. When do we want to start the 5? Is that at January 1st?
It starts in January,
Okay.
sir.
January 25th.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second, Trish.
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, next item on the agenda is update landscaping and add lighting in the business district. Mr. Franco, you
Yeah,
want
I attended a function about a few weeks ago on New Jersey Avenue, and a couple of the business owners approached me asking if we could maybe pitch in and help out with the landscaping and the lighting. After looking at what they were discussing, for me, it's a no-brainer. There's a lot of dead trees. At night, it's very dark. It seems unsafe. And it's from Astor Road to Wisteria, I believe, that was in question. So I think anything that we could, I know it's a county road, but anything on our end we could do to help, especially small business, I think is a plus. So I wanted to add that and have that open for discussion.
Mr. Schiff?
I believe that's most probably correct, what we need to do, but I'd like to have a little more information before I discuss it.
All right, and I'll just to bring everybody up to speed, so just to take everyone back, so New Jersey Avenue is a county roadway. There are 6 blocks Heather to Columbine, which I'll refer to as the Crest Station or our new economic redevelopment zone. There's some work that the borough needs to do to the infrastructure, sanitary sewer system specifically, to the street before the county can start their project. I'm hopefully thinking 2024, maybe 2025. As far as the business district is concerned, 100% on board with beautifying that area. I do know lighting is gonna be an issue because there's no electric for the borough to plug in. And I'm gonna take everyone back. There used to be lights on those trees there, and unfortunately, the way it was wired in was unsafe. It was not tapped in or the right way, so it was removed for safety reasons. So we'd have to figure out what can be done to do that. Also, just to let everyone know, so the borough, Connie, correct me if I'm wrong, we have approximately $80,000 to $85,000 of UEZ funds that are available to the borough if we wanted to invest some dollars to spruce up the area to the best of our ability in preparation for 2023. I have tasked Special Project Manager Joe Bond, along with the help from Connie Mann, to design something that would make sense, and if any purchases are made in that regard, that maybe they could be carried over into the new redevelopment zone, so we're not wasting money, buying things that eventually we'd have to throw away or remove. So it's a work in progress, but I'll wait to hear. We'll have more information on that. And some of that did include landscaping, i.e. landscape planners. And I know Assistant Superintendent Shear here waiting for a directive to remove those trees if that's in fact what we wanted to do. So we're happy to do that, but just figure out what needs to happen. So in preparation for, I know Ms. Castiello is here today she had asked me about that. I'm assuming that's what she is here for today. Welcome to your very first meeting, by the way. And I'm hoping that we can get something done for 2023. But it's a work in progress.
You are correct. The UEC this year has doubled the amount of money that the borough will receive. So it is approximately around $80,000. Once you take out the 10% administrative costs that we would have to pay to Wildwood, because they are the lead agency, and there's an administrative fee for the grant writer and things like that. So those applications are due in the near future. We do have to make application, and it generally takes about 3 months for the UEZ board to get back to us with an approval or denial of our request of the use of that money. So there is a long lead time, and I don't want anybody to think that these things can happen quickly, because it does take them a better part of 3 months to get back to us once we apply.
This was what the design group, Taylor Design Group did when we were hot and heavy into the discussions. Again, COVID set us back as well as the Pacific Avenue project, but just so everyone is aware, there are lighting specs out, there's banners, there's landscaping, there's specced out trash cans and benches scheduled for that area. So it's got slowed down during COVID, but we're hopefully moving and tracking in the right direction, but we have a partner in this with the county, so we're kind of, our hands are kind of tied with all that. But maybe, I'll throw this out, Connie and Joe, and Joe's not here, but Steve, maybe some of these other features, we can get moving on it, so we're not wasting, we can reuse them when we actually do the project to spruce up the area. I agree, I think the area is in dire need of some love, and that's one of the reasons why we started this project about 3-4 years ago. All right?
If I was on the planning board at that time, and I agreed with that too, I also think it's smart to plan ahead where we don't have to dig something up that we just put down. So once we have a plan in place, I'm for it. I think it's something that needs to be done.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to old business. Let's see, let's go through these. Back beach excavation is on hold. Mitigation projects on hold. I know that Mr. de Blasio, you and Commissioner Franco are going to make a recommendation on the 5 bulkheads that we're contemplating for 2023, right? Dredging is on hold. Beach patrol, we can take that off now. We officially we'll be out to bid after that.
Will do.
CAFRA permit, Mark, any submitted? All right.
Submitted, it's administratively complete, so we're doing a technical review.
All right, phase 2 beach bump outs. So we're ready to go on our end almost. We're waiting for a third party to coordinate with the borough and the engineer, specifically the water utility, to approve eventually the water design, the connection from the water mains to the actual foot shower. So we're still hoping and anticipating that this project will be out to bid soon, and hopefully the rest of the street ends will be completed before the summer. New Jersey Avenue infrastructure pre-county, that's on hold until we can get a chance to meet with the county. Major reconstructing streets plan is on hold. Line striping on hold. Pool roof and resurfacing, there's a meeting tomorrow to discuss. If you're familiar with the pool roof has been there for a long time. However, the good news is that it can be repaired. the contractor and engineers involved are asking if we want the borough to allow for the pool roof. It is designed to open up to allow humidity out, and we're gonna walk through that process tomorrow. Used to do that years ago, actually in my first term, many years ago. It used to do that, but unfortunately, it broke and it was never fixed to reopen. So we'll come back to that. Public Works roof, there's a design engineering, I think there was an internal meeting, Mr. DeBasio, and you guys are finishing up those bid specifications in order for us to get out the bid. Borough Hall exterior and addition office moves, I know there was some discussion internally on that. We'll wait to hear back on those recommendations. Bayside outfalls, okay, that's similar, tied in with the flood mitigation projects. We're waiting on Commissioner Franco and Mr. DeBlasio to decide. Arts Pavilion exterior, we're finishing up and still communicating with the open space to get them what they need and for us to get a final design on what we're looking for on the exterior of the building. And the Arts Pavilion is moving closer to getting open. I believe the electrical parts that we were waiting for have come in. There's some wiring that still has to be done for the new digital sign that's out front, but we're hoping at some point in the early new year that we'll be ready to get the building open. I know our Crest Arts Council is ready to get involved, and we're happy to have them involved. Washington Avenue, Seaview Avenue, bulkheads, that's nothing at the moment. We're waiting for Mr. Rotola. Seating in lieu of barricades at Centennial Park. Commissioner Frank, or Commissioner Schiff, anything on that?
We were talking, we met with the chief of police. We decided that we're not going to put a planter in, that we just have a seating area kind of conforming to the same architectural structure that's there for the planters, but not putting planters in. I don't think it's necessary to add a burden to Public Works to one more thing to clean up. So I think we're moving forward, and we'll wait for Mark to come back with a design.
That's a follow-up action for us. We're trying to determine that work can be done with, by getting quotes or public bidding, so that's on our list to follow up.
It's gonna look nice.
All right, seating in lieu, all right, so we talked about that. So beach-related issues, storage stands, walkways, planks, I think we can take that off. All that is in the budget and being planned for 2023. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our last round of public comments. We'll start with anybody here in the room. Last round of public comments. Name and address for the record, please.
Dave McWilliams, 8107. Could you handicap the odds of the bump outs being done by Memorial Day? Or June 30th?
Handicap it?
I would heard you say we're hopeful. Okay?
Well-
Is that a 10% hopeful or a 90% hopeful?
I think it's 100% from my standpoint. That's what we're looking at, so. Yeah, listen, there's nothing, it's not at the borough's hand. We're working with the City of Wildwood Water Utility. There's a couple issues or questions that they have with respect to the cost of the water mains to connect to the foot showers. Because in some of the streets, the water main may stop in the middle of the street or 3/4 of the street in that beach block, and there's an extension that needs to be made to get the water to the new bump out. So that cost, so Wildwood paid for the first phase A and first phase B. As we move into phase 2, there seems to be some confusion as to who's paying for that cost, and we're working through those details as we speak. So I anticipate it to all be worked out, and hopefully we'll be out to bid at some point in January. But the project, because of the delay, may very well go into June, to your point, of June 30th. But it's done. We've done that before. We had that in the past, and we worked through it. We provided temporary access to get everyone down to the beach.
No pressure.
Good answer.
Thank you.
I just
Yes,
have,
ma'am.
with the trees that are there right now, can we get them taken out right now? They're dead.
So the ones, so there's 2 blocks of those trees. Is that right? Yeah.
There's 16, 8 on each block.
Right, yeah, so they're dead. There's no, as you know, there's no water there. It's all natural stuff. So we can remove them. The question is, once we remove them, we just, is there something that we need to put in?
Well, are you gonna maintain it, or are you not gonna maintain it?
Maintain what?
If you put anything in, say a plant, are you gonna maintain it? If you're not gonna maintain it, then just use like an inanimate object like the beach balls.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we're talking about. But we're not saying we're putting another plant in there. We're just saying if we want to remove it so we don't have empty holes sitting there, what's gonna go?
Well, the thing is, the
in there.
dead trees look worse than
Yeah.
stone at the
Yeah.
bottom.
No,
With
so
lights on them that have never worked for 4 years now.
right. So I think that we're waiting for Public Works to coordinate with Connie. We're gonna work on that as soon as we have. I don't have the answer right now, but I know that if we remove the trees, I guess we want to know what's going to go back in there, just for the sake, because if there's costs and or some other
Well, isn't it
opportunity. It
Kansas
doesn't have to be
City?
flowers. I personally, so if it is some sort of landscaping, then operationally, we need to, have Public Works with the sewer truck that has the water to be able to go down there, and we'll put that on a schedule to water
That's
them
what
every
I'm
day.
saying, just take the trees out, for right now, they're dead.
But, listen,
Do you want them out here in front of the borough?
I think what the mayor is trying to say is, once we pull those trees out, we're gonna have a dead spot right
But you
there.
have all stones there right now.
We have to look, I would think that we wanna make sure that we don't have a safety issue of a trip issue or something like that, but I understand your point to pull them out
Yeah.
too.
yeah, they're ready to go, and there's no question about that. I was just waiting to have more internal discussion as to what we wanted to do. So rip them out, but what's gonna go back in there is the question, and we just haven't
Well,
gotten to that point.
that's why I'm saying, think of what does go back in, if you're not gonna maintain it, cause they haven't been maintained. Don't put anything in that you had to maintain. And if you, why hasn't it been maintained for the past
Well, I think
4 or
there's-
5 years?
I think those trees are designed
were
where,
dead.
once they're, other than pruning them, once they're in there, hopefully the rainwater, because again, there's no irrigation there, so that it would take. So when they were put in years ago, I think they were alive at one point, but then I don't know what happened then from there.
Steve would know, but I'm just saying, I asked the workers, they said, ask Joe, then I asked Steve, and they're dead. It looks terrible.
All right, loud and clear.
Why do I have to come in to say that, though? I mean, come on.
I don't, okay, so let's be honest. You've had conversations probably with every one of us up here. I am happy to listen to the concerns and address it. I'm just asking for the time to address it. It sounds easy, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Just from the sake of, it all ties in with larger plans, and we wanna make it look nice, but I don't wanna rip it out. If you take the trees out and don't put something back, it may even look worse than having some trees there. So
And
just,
having dead trees there.
are they all 100% dead? I don't know. I'm only taking your word for it. I mean, I haven't walked
Ask
all
Steve.
16 of them.
Steve,
Steve, are all the trees dead, or is it just a couple of them? I don't have the answer, 'cause I've never looked at every tree on that district.
I'll say they're not in good condition. How's that?
I would say the majority are dead, yes.
and there's stone at the bottom.
They're in a stone confined planter.
And can it be filled in with stone? Until something's done.
How about we take a look at it and we'll give you a call and let you know what we're gonna do? Does that work?
In the time frame
In what time frame?
that you'll get back to me.
We
This
could,
has been ongoing for a while, everybody knows it.
but this is the first time I've heard personally of taking out all the trees and putting something in there. It was more along the lines of, you talked to me specifically about adding bike lanes and beautifying it, right, to that area. As far as removing the trees, I'm fine with that. Just, we have a lot of folks that like trees. I just wanna make sure that we don't take out dead or trees that aren't alive and just rip them out for the sake of ripping them out, because that also gets us into a lot of trouble. So just give us some time to review the trees and what we're gonna put back in there, and we can certainly get that done in-house without having to go out to bid and so forth. I'm pretty sure about that. And if we do, if it can be river rock, is there a safety issue, is there not, I don't know, but let's look at it. Just give us some time. You brought Mr. Commissioner Franco, yourself, brought it to the borough's attention. We will address it. You can take that to the bank.
Thank you.
You got it. Anybody else? Hearing none. Commissioner comments?
All righty. Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank the borough and the borough employees for the great job with the tree lighting ceremony. I thought that went over well. I know that the mayor did thank everybody in all the departments, so I'm not gonna redo that. I just thought it was a nice community event, and I thought it was very well attended. So I'd like to thank everybody personally about that. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the people that were involved to get the Beach Patrol building through. It's always a push. I think we're going to be proud. I know we're going to be proud of that. And I know that the Beach Patrol members, and especially Chief Johnson, is going to be happy when I call him this afternoon that we finally got it past a part of the hurdle. So thank you all, and have a great holiday.
Just a quick shout out. I know he's probably gonna not be happy with me, but I want to congratulate one of our borough employees, Brian Kniff, who has been recently nominated for Sportscaster of the Year in the state of New Jersey. Brian is one of 8 sportcasters to be nominated. If you ever listen to one of Brian's games, you definitely understand why he has been nominated. I believe the winner is announced in January. So on behalf of myself, my fellow commissioners in the borough, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is that fake news, or is that for real?
People who've heard me would tell you it's fake.
Yeah. Congratulations, sir.
Lastly, what I have, so I also want to echo what Commissioner Schiff indicated on the tree lighting. It was a great little hometown event, and I want to thank all the departments once again for all their efforts in making that happen. The displays, when we first started that years ago, we started off with a couple of them, and then we're just adding a couple more every year. And it's actually become a tradition for a lot of the families to come down and drive by and get their picture taken in the lifeguard boat, and I think that's what a sense of community is all about. I posted a solicitation for volunteers for the wellness and the green team. Madam Clerk, we received a tremendous response on individuals looking to volunteer their time. I'd just like to ask the governing body and Connie and Trish to review the opportunity, because it seems to me we may need to expand some of our committees to be larger. I know they're advisory in nature, and certainly if there's people that are willing to volunteer their time for the efforts of the borough, not everybody can make all the meetings, but maybe we can get, maybe we can expand them and get everybody involved. Lastly, want to echo, so Brian's sports editor accommodation, good job, Brian. But Brian's also our master at the digital signs that you see around town, so if you can think of Brian behind a computer typing away and changing up all those messages and so forth, he's your guy. He does a lot for the borough. Brian, I want to thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
And lastly, I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. This is our last meeting because the next one will be after Christmas. And if I don't see you, have a very happy New Year as well. All right, and I think we're going to plant new trees along New Jersey Avenue. I'm just kidding. It's all good. It's all good. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.